Think the hard part is over the day that you get the keys? In Western Pennsylvania, the opposite is true. This is the real Pittsburgh new homeowner checklist, the move-in steps that protect your money and your home, and one of them could save you from a repair bill in the tens of thousands of dollars. Stick with me, and you will know exactly what to do first. I can't tell you how many times I've sat at a closing table and watched buyers get excited about paint colors and furniture placement while completely forgetting about security. Changing the locks is one of the simplest and cheapest things that you can do to protect your new home. Let me start with the part that people skip in all of the excitement. The very first thing that you should do when that house becomes yours is secure it. I have been helping buyers and people buy and sell homes here in Western Pennsylvania for years across Allegheny, Washington, Beaver, and Butler counties. And the number one thing that I tell every single buyer at the closing table is this: you have no idea how many copies of your house key are floating around. Think about it. The old owners, their kids, a neighbor who watered the plants when you were away, a contract, a dog walker. So before you bring in a single box, change the locks or have them rekeyed. It is a small cost, often under $100, and it instantly makes the home truly yours. Over the years, I've had more than one client call me in a panic because they had a plumbing issue and didn't know where the main water shutoff valve was. 5 minutes of preparation can save thousands of dollars in damage. While you're at it, walk the house and find your shutoffs. I mean the main water shutoff valve, the electrical panel, and the gas shutoff. I can't tell you how many new owners go searching for the water valve for the first time while water is actively spraying across the basement floor. Don't be that person. Find them now while everything is calm and dry, and make sure that every adult in the home knows where they are. And here's one more easy win for those first 2 days. Take photos and short videos of every room before you move your furniture in. Empty rooms reveal the true condition of the walls, floors, and ceilings. If something comes up later, you have a record. That brings us to the part of the homeownership that hits your wallet every single month. Many of my relocation buyers come from newer construction markets where energy efficiency is almost taken for granted. Here in Western Pennsylvania, some of our most charming homes are also some of our draftiest. Here's something that brand new homeowners learn the hard way around here. That cozy older Pittsburgh home with all the charm can come with a heating bill that catches you completely off guard. So before you settle in, do what I call a utility audit. Now, let me give you the real numbers so that you're never surprised. A typical Pittsburgh home can see natural gas bills climb to around $150 to $180 a month during the coldest part of the winter, based on local Pennsylvania gas rate data. And it's trending upward. According to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association, home heating costs are expected to rise by more than 8% this winter compared to last, with natural gas heating specifically projected to climb around 8.5%. I'll be honest with you though, the Federal Energy Information Administration has a more conservative estimate, closer to 4% for natural gas, but either way, the direction is still headed upwards. Heating is getting more expensive and Western Pennsylvania winters are real. So what do you actually do about it those first few days? Walk the house and feel for drafts around every window and exterior door. Older homes here, and we have a lot of them, often have original windows that are beautiful but leaky. Check the attic insulation. Check that the basement and the crawl spaces are sealed up. These are the quiet places where your warm air escapes and your money goes right out the window. The good news is that small fixes that you make, they'll pay off fast. According to the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission, simply lowering your thermostat by 1 degree can save you up to 3% on heating costs. Add some weather stripping, swap out a furnace filter, and seal a few drafts, and you have changed your winter budget before the first snow even falls. Now, speaking of protecting your investment, this next item is one that almost nobody outside Pennsylvania has ever heard of, and it matters more here than just about anywhere else in the country. If you've watched many of my videos, you've probably heard me talk about mine subsidence before. That's because it's one of the most overlooked topics that I discuss with out-of-state buyers and one of the easiest risks to protect yourself against. This is where I beg every new buyer to pay attention to because it's so specific to our part of the country. Western Pennsylvania was built on coal. For more than a century, we mined the ground beneath these hills, and a lot of those old mines are still down there, abandoned and slowly breaking down. And here's the part that surprises people. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, more than 1 million buildings in this state sit atop abandoned underground mines. When one of those old mines shifts or collapses, the ground above it can sink, and that can crack your foundation, your walls, or even pull your home apart. And here's the kicker. Your standard homeowner's insurance policy almost never covers it. So here's your checklist item. Find out whether your new home sits over an old mine, and if so, get the right coverage. You can look this up yourself for free. Penn State runs the Pennsylvania Mine Map Atlas, and you just have to type in your street address to see the old mine maps for your property. The Department of Environmental Protection also has a mapping tool for this exact purpose. And if you're at risk, the coverage is honestly very affordable. According to Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, mine subsidence insurance for a home costs around $7 a month, and seniors get a discount on top of that. Think about that. A few dollars a month to protect yourself from a repair bill that could cost you your entire home. That's not a maybe. That is a must-do for anyone buying a coal country. This is exactly the kind of local detail that separates a smooth move from a nightmare. And it leads me right into something that I want to share with you. So let me pause here for a second though. We have already covered securing your home, auditing your Pittsburgh winter utilities, and protecting yourself from something most people never see coming, mine subsidence. And I remember what I promised you at the start, that one of these steps saves you tens of thousands of dollars. You just heard it. But the biggest move-in mistake are actually the two that I'm about to share next, because they sneak up on people slowly over months and years. I've walked hundreds of families through their first week of homeownership here, and it's amazing how often the same questions come up, whether someone is moving from across town or across the country. For anyone just joining me, I'm Diane McConaghy, your local Pittsburgh real estate relocation guide. I help buyers and sellers all across Allegheny, Washington, Beaver, and Butler counties, and I have walked hundreds of families through exactly this moment. If you're planning a move to our area, my team and I have put together a free Pittsburgh relocation guide that breaks down neighborhoods, schools, cost expectations, and the local details newcomers always wish that they had known sooner. It's a 100% free book, and the link is right down in the description. Grab it before you pack that first box. Now, let me show you the 2 checklist items that protect your home for the long haul. One thing that I pay close attention to when showing homes is where the water is going. Pittsburgh's hills create beautiful views, but they also create drainage challenges that buyers from flatter areas may never have experienced before. If there's one thing that defines our landscape, it's the hills and the rivers. They give us those famous views, but they also mean that water is always trying to find its way downhill, and sometimes that downhill path runs straight toward your foundation. So your next move-in task is all about water management. Start outside on day 1. Clean out your gutters and make sure your downspouts carry water well away from the house, not right next to the foundation where it can seep into your basement. Then look at the grading, which is just a fancy word for the slope of the ground around your home. The soil should slope away from the house on every side. On a Pittsburgh hillside, this is not optional. Heavy rain and snow melt can pull against a foundation fast, and a wet basement is one of the most common and preventable headaches that I see. I also encourage buyers not to assume that because the water looks clear, everything is fine. Testing gives you answers, and peace of mind is worth a lot when you've just made one of the biggest purchases of your life. And while you're thinking about water, test the water that you drink. Many of our homes were built decades ago, and older plumbing can mean lead pipes or outdated materials. A simple water test gives you peace of mind, and if you're on a private well, which is common out here than in more of the rural areas of Butler and Washington counties, testing is even more important. Make it part of your first week. And here's the reassuring part. Doing these checks early costs you almost nothing and heads off expensive surprises. A few hours with a ladder and a garden hose on your first weekend can save you from a flooded basement down the road. And once your home is dry and protected, you get to the fun part, the part where you start building real wealth in your home. Some of my favorite success stories involve buyers who slowly improved a home over time. They didn't spend a fortune all at once. They tackled projects strategically and built significant equity along the way. This is my favorite part because this is where you go from owning a house to building your future. One of the best things about owning a home in Pennsylvania is that you can do much of the work yourself, and every smart upgrade you make adds value. We call that sweat equity, and it's real money in your pocket when you eventually sell. But you have to be smart about what you take on. So let me share the simple rule that I give my buyers. The DIY wins are the cosmetic and the simple. Painting, swapping out light fixtures and cabinet hardware, fresh landscaping, caulking, installing a new faucet, and updating a tired bathroom with new fixtures. These projects are low risk, build your skills, and make your home feel like yours while quietly raising its value. After closing more than 800 transactions, I've learned that there are certain projects where hiring a qualified professional is almost always money well spent. Then there are pro-only fixes, and please hear me out on this one. Anything involving your electrical panel, gas lines, plumbing, structural changes, or your roof should be handled by a licensed professional. These are the systems where a mistake is not just costly, it can be dangerous, and bad work can actually lower your home value or scare off a future buyer. When in doubt, pull a permit and call a pro. The goal is to build equity safely, not to create a problem that you'll have to pay someone to undo later. One of the biggest differences between homeowners who enjoy their homes and homeowners who constantly feel stressed is preparation. Maintenance reserve gives you options when something unexpected happens. And here's why this matters so much in our market. According to Redfin, the median sales price in Pittsburgh is around $245,000, which keeps us one of the more affordable markets in the country. That affordability means that your improvement dollars stretch further here than they would on coasts. A little sweat equity in Western Pennsylvania goes a long, long way. To keep that home protected for the long run, set aside a maintenance fund. According to Fannie Mae, a good rule of thumb is to save about 1% to 4% of your home's value every year for upkeep. And because so many of our homes are older, lean toward the higher end of that range. On a typical Pittsburgh home, that is a manageable cushion that keeps small problems from ever becoming bigger ones. So let me bring it all home for you. In those first 48 hours, secure the house by changing the locks and finding your shutoffs. Do your Pittsburgh utility audit so the winter never catches you off guard. Check whether you are sitting over an old mine and get that low-cost mine subsidence coverage if you need it. Manage your water with clean gutters and proper grading on those famous Pittsburgh hills. And start building equity with small DIY projects while leaving the big systems to the pros. None of this is hard. It just takes knowing what to look for, and now you do. Buying a home is exciting, but the first week after closing often sets the tone for years to come. The buyers who take care of these details early tend to avoid many of the problems that catch other homeowners off guard. Buying a home here is one of the most exciting steps that you'll ever take. You're not just buying four walls, you're buying into a community with a real character, friendly neighbors, and a quality of life that's honestly hard to find anywhere else. Doing these few things right in your first weeks mean that you get to enjoy all of that without the stress and the surprises. If this checklist helped you feel a little more ready and a lot more confident, do me a quick favor. Give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss the local tips that protect your biggest investment. One thing my clients know about me is that my job doesn't end at the closing table. I want you to have the resources, the vendors, and the information that you need long after you've unpacked that last box. And if you're buying, selling, or just dreaming about a move to the Pittsburgh area, reach out to me directly. My contact information is right below the video. I would love to help you find the right home in the right neighborhood and walk with you long after the keys are in your hand. That's what my team and I do best, all across Allegheny, Washington, Beaver, and Butler counties here in Western Pennsylvania. Now, before you go, you need to watch this one next. It's called Never Buy These Types of Houses in Western Pennsylvania in 2026. And it's the honest, no sugarcoating look at the homes that can quietly drain your bank account around here. Trust me, you want to see this before you ever make an offer. I'll see you over there.